In the earlier lecture, I talked about the genesis of big data. And we learned that things are now expanding into the real-time data processing requirements. In this video, I will try to help you develop a broader sense of real-time stream processing. The idea of real-time stream processing starts with looking at the day-to-day business activities as a sequence of events. The notion of business activities as events is in the foundation of real-time stream processing. For example, a retailer has a series of events for orders, returns, shipments, and so on. If you have ordered something on Amazon, that means you created an order event. When you are tracking your delivery, you are monitoring a shipment event. Similarly, a bank may have events of customer service requests, stock ticks, market indicators, trade transactions, and financial time series transactions. A popular website might want to track the occurrence of clicks and add impressions. Displaying an advertisement on your website is also an event. Google AdSense is all about matching an advertiser's bid event to the website's ad request event in real time and then monitoring the ad click events. So the first step of heading towards stream processing is the idea of looking at your business activities as events. Applying this idea in practice is not too difficult, but it often starts with four main questions. How to identify and model events. How to create a stream of events. How to transport events. And finally, how to process events. Let me elaborate on these fundamental problems with some examples. The first thing that we want to understand is how to identify and model an event from your business activity. Assume that you have a retail business. The business performs many activities. However, every business activity is played by an actor. An actor is a real-life person or a machine, or it could be an automated process. The action performed by an actor generates an event. For example, invoicing is a business activity performed by a point of sale operator that generates an invoice. The POS operator is the actor. The verb create is an action. The invoice is the event that is generated by the create action. We identified an event. It is that simple. So the event is an outcome of the action performed by an actor. That's what we mean by an event in this course. Once you know the event, the next step is to capture the event as a data object that can be streamed and transported from one place to another place and also can be processed by an event processor application. Capturing the invoice event as a data object is as simple as creating a JSON object for the invoice. Here is an example. This JSON object is an invoice event. So, we identified an event, modeled it using a JSON object. Simple, isn't it? The next problem is to make a stream of events. How do you make a stream from your events? Whatever events you identify, they are likely to be generated continuously over time as a series of events. These events are produced one after other. For our POS example, the invoicing is not a one-time activity. The operator keeps generating invoices one after other, and this series of invoices is what we term as a stream of events. You might see a time gap between two consecutive events, and this time gap may or may not be equal. However, the events keep occurring in a continuous stream. The point is straightforward. The stream of events is a natural phenomenon of the business. All we need to do is to transport these events from the point of origin to the location of processing. But here is a question. Why do we need to transport an event? Transporting events from one place to another place is a common requirement. We cannot avoid the need for moving events from one place to another location for simple reasons, such as you cannot process everything on a single machine in a single monolithic application. The industry has adopted a microservices architecture, and we create a bunch of simple autonomous applications, each taking care of a specific responsibility. For our retail sector example, invoice event that is generated at the POS is also needed by the various other services. The shipment service would be interested in scheduling the shipment of the items within the invoice. Similarly, the analytics service would also need to know about the invoice event and take it into account for analyzing sales pattern. Point is straightforward. You cannot avoid the need for transporting events because you cannot process everything in one place. However, transporting events from one application to another application is a big problem. Look at this diagram. It shows an indicative requirement for a retail system. If you have a multi-store business, your POS terminals are spread across the stores. If you are accepting online orders, your invoice events are also coming from your online web store. The point is straightforward. There are multiple sources for the same type of event. Similarly, there is no single destination for the invoice. The invoice is required by the finance, shipment, inventory planning, loyalty services, analytics, long-term storage, and many more. So, how do we solve that many-to-many streaming requirement? Do you want to build all those streaming data pipelines, creating all those crossing lines that are shown in the diagram? I leave you there to think about it and at least identify a possible solution for this requirement. You may be right or wrong, but just do it. Think about it. We'll come back to this problem in the next lecture and discuss what makes a good or a bad solution. Before I close this lecture, let's talk a little about the last question. Assuming we can easily transport the events using some magical solution, but once carried, how to process events in real time? Let's try to understand this question with an example. Extending to our invoicing example, let's assume a simple requirement. As soon as an invoice is generated for a customer who has enrolled in a loyalty scheme, we want to compute the total rewards point for the customer and send him an SMS with the details. The most critical point, we want to send the SMS within a few seconds of invoicing. Let's take another example from the payment industry. You want to pay bills for your internet. Your internet provider offers you an option to pay your bills using your mobile wallet. Have you done this yourself? Do you remember the steps? You would log into your iNet application and select the mWallet option to initiate the bill payment. In a typical case, the iNet would ask for your linked mobile number. Once you supply your cell number, the iNet would call the mWallet payment API. The mWallet payment API would generate an OTP and securely send you the OTP for transaction verification. This OTP would be valid for 5 minutes or something. When you supply the valid OTP, the mWallet would approve the transaction or reject it if you delayed it by 5 minutes or provided a wrong OTP. All this happens in real time. These are the examples of event processing that I am talking about. And in this course, you will be creating both of these examples and solving many other similar real-time streaming problems. The main objective of this lecture was to give you the first sense of real-time stream processing. I tried to give you an idea of what do we mean by the event. An event is nothing but a business activity that we captured as a data object, right? I also tried to give you a clear understanding of what do we mean by a stream of events. Again, the stream of events is nothing but a continuous flow of event objects, one after other. That's all. The third thing was the need to flow or transport the stream from one location to another location. And I hope I clarified that as well. Finally, I wanted you to understand what do you mean by real-time stream processing. I tried to give you a couple of examples to have a pre-sense of what do we mean when we say real-time stream processing. And you can find examples all over around you. You are ordering food on your mobile app, booking a cab, looking at the traffic status on your way, performing a financial transaction, or a patient is going through a surgery. Real-time stream processing has found its application in every business. In the next lecture, I will talk about a wide range of real-time stream processing use cases and some examples. Before you start processing streams, I intend to cement the notion of stream processing in your mind, talking about the depth and breadth of real-time stream processing use cases. See you in the next lecture. Keep learning and keep growing.